Sometimes we are tired and we prefer to pretend not to care, behaving like children. I prefer when you favorite something instead of change the position of the background. There, I said it. I think I write too much. I want to rest. But still, I try to show I'm around because I know how you must feel when I get more than a day without showing any sign of life. My love, you were Mercedes. I know how you felt. You haven't changed at all. Neither do I. It was only the exterior. And we think alike. You said on your CD, but with other words. And if you aren't present for a day, I think you're tired. For 2 days that you are ignoring me. In the third, I would think something bad happened. I'm a pessimist. There is nothing wrong showing you care. Well, I quit smoking for 2 weeks when I was interned in the hospital in the end of 2013. And for 1 week when I had to do that teeth surgery in May. I read on internet that it wasn't advisable to smoke cigarettes or make any type of suction if you had to do a surgery. I had too many problems with my teeth so far. I preferred not take the chances. I didn't feel any will of smoke. Cigarettes aren't addictive. It's tobacco, not heroin, see. I never tried heroin, so I can't know for sure, but I have no will of trying it. I'm not a junkie. I won't quit because I like to drink a hot cup of tea, smoke 2 cigarettes, and think about my life while listening some good music and alone. I like to be alone. I don't smoke inside of my house because nobody smokes here, so they don't tolerate. And even if they did, I prefer to smoke outside. Well, I began to smoke 2 years ago, and when I told my mother, when she saw me with cigarettes, she took my luckies off my hand and tore the cigarettes apart and threw them in the trash. I tried Benson Hedges, but I prefer my luckies. It's toasted as much as my lungs by the end of my life. What difference is going to make? I'll be dead by then. I used to hate the smell of cigarettes, but you know why I began. Now it became something for a moment of reflection. My grandpa died of cancer a couple of years ago. My dad's father died, not the one who taught me chess. I saw only a few times my real grandpa. Real concerning genetics, but I consider that my grandpa, the one who is still alive and taught me chess, as my real grandpa. You said in one of your songs, I can live on the sparkle of your voice. You should be referring to Garbo's old movies, or vintage. I prefer to think in them as vintage. Also about when we met and I opened the door. I think you were referring to our last life. You must have done regression. Perhaps you could have seen that moment. I believe that regression works, but I don't know exactly how it works. I used to read a lot about us, but when I talked with you, I stopped it a bit. Although I keep seeing Mercedes' photo, I'm being so sure that we are together even before that life makes me, well, I know you're going to laugh. I don't care. Well, I began to think in those hands that touched my face, my nipples, my sex, my own hands, and so my whole body. I think in those bugging veins in your old hands that once were back and forth inside of me, hands that hugged me, the one that I once was. And I think how beautiful Mercedes was, how beautiful you is. And I'm sure Matilda was a Victorian era's baby, despite she wasn't English. Because your body and soul loved mine. This is what makes you irresistible. Even so, I don't believe we will last forever. Sorry, nothing lasts forever. But until the earth disintegrates, my being will do anything to never leave yours. And if it disintegrates, we can pack our bags and go straight to Venus. Who cares? Most of people will never get the chance of experiment our kind of love, the one that not even death is capable of separate. Well, I'm sure we are not the only one, but I also believe this is very rare. I guess time makes people's will just going have less strength. So I feel sorry for those peoples because it's such a beautiful thing. And if it was not happening to me, I would find it hard to believe. I spent so much time reading about Garble and Mercedes, and also what Cecil Beaton wrote about us, that when I heard your CD for the first time, I knew it was you. I had no doubts about it. And I had always kept everything for myself, but being able to write for you, knowing that you would understand me, because you probably passed for the same, made things easier. In your CD, you say that you don't talk much about it. Well, I guess it makes you sad. I wonder how you recognize me. The book, my age, Garble, my character's name. I heard many times that it's odd, someone of my age, like so much silent movies. But why silent movies? That's so old, and you are so young. And okay, then you must have recognized me because of the odd part. But if I haven't been here before, what should we do? Calling it quits? After so much conversation. Well, I'm not that bad. Well, Cherry Pie, I was the one who answered your CD secret message. What you're seeing is what you got. I think Cherry Pie is cheesy, but you like it. You even went to Vegas. So, sorry for taking your daughter's virginity, as I think you wanted me to read somewhere. My dad doesn't speak English, so he'll never understand, and I won't explain. He would get lost in the translation. And you haven't taken it yet. Take it yet. Besides, my dad doesn't give a damn about those things. And it does not concern to my parents. It's my body and it's my life. For 3 months or so, we must have thought my name was Alice. In Portuguese is Alice. Well, it's a cute name. If you want to call me Alice, I won't mind, but I prefer Pamela. So, why would I mention you on a Twitter if I want this to be as private as possible? And I know you read everything every day. And I hope you see this video because I know it's going to be huge. Probably almost 1 hour. But, well, you wanted it to see me? Whatever. You like when I write about sex. I think I will read more books about it as Sade, so I have more inspiration to write. The only person I wish to satisfy and entertain is you. And I hope I'm not wrong and you like those things. Because I only write about sex because I'm writing for you. Because you seem to enjoy. Well, and I like very much too, because I picture doing those things with you. If I was writing about sex for myself, or for anybody else that wasn't you, I wouldn't write at all. Maybe I'd try, but I would find boring. It wouldn't have a meaning. So English is our second language, but when I saw the first Cinetree video, I decided I wanted to learn your first. I'm still learning Portuguese. Being a writer makes me be in constant learning of my own native language. Despite this year, I haven't written much. Well, what I write for you doesn't count. When I was Christina, I think you were a man, a priest. I wasn't joking last year, and you haven't answered me. So the reason to Christina to be buried at St. Peter's Basilica and Vatican was a priest that intervened and asked that current pope to her to be buried there. His name was Antonio Vieira. Were you him? I might be wrong. I think we both do better when we are women instead of men. Because I can say for me that once I died in a cross, and then I spent 8 years trapped in a bed. So you can call me mad, but I think the cross is less painful if it was only some hours, not years. Now, if it was years in that cross, I'd certainly choose the bed. I tried to read Anna Karenina years ago, but I never finished. Tolstoy talks too much about plantations. I'll try to finish someday. My favorite Russian writer is Dostoevsky. I read The Gambler. It's a tiny book. And after I read Crime and Punishment, my next of his will be The Brothers Karamazov. I bought it in the beginning of this year, but I established a rating goal. I'm halfway through, so I'm on track. And that book is huge, 1,000 pages or more, and it would screw all my time. So, darling, I wanted to read and see things you like, so that I have something to write that interests you, so that you wouldn't be bored. Because of you, I've already done written see things that I wouldn't even know. You have an influence in my life, despite the people that I live with have no idea. Like, why are you learning Dutch? I mean, if it was French, I understand, but Dutch, where are you going to use that, Pamela? I've heard it many times. My family asking me. Well, I did not um forget German. I'm studying, but very very slow. But I am. Why choose one language if I could um learn all of them? I'm still I have to choose. So you have an influence in my life. I'm not pretend interest when I read. I wasn't pretending interest when I read The Unbearable Lightness of Being and Annie, or when I saw Totzi. I'm not pretending interest on these things because I truly am. I want something to talk or write with you, something I know you like. About the book Annie. It is set in 1933. Annie was born in 1921. Have you ever read the book? From the moment Annie escapes the orphanage to when she's captured by the guard, much more things happen in the between. I laughed a bit while reading, mostly from the part that Annie met Mr. Warbucks, the most rich man in the world. Mr. Warbucks was seen with women such as Gloria Swanson, Mary Pickford, and Greta Garbo. The copy of the Venus de Milo is in Louvre, because the owner from the original is Oliver Warbucks, and he almost sent back to Louvre the Mona Lisa. He didn't like it, but decided it was possible to tolerate. Reading Annie made me remember how I adore literary liberties. The liberty the art possesses in general. I committed some of these liberties. My Anna has a Renoir above her fireplace. Well, I don't know French, but the name of the painting is Le Bal du Moulin de la Galette. It isn't the one I had in my last life, but it is a Renoir, and I didn't know when I wrote. I just closed my eyes and imagining the characters coming to life in front of me. I used to picture a Renoir painting above a fireplace since I was young, and it's odd since in Brazil people don't usually have fireplaces, but there is England, and my imagination knows no boundaries. What child wouldn't want to be Annie? She had swimming lessons with Johnny Weissmuller, and she went to the Rox cinema almost every day, drinking milkshakes at the Rumpelmeyers and strolling in a carriage through Central Park. And she also gave President Roosevelt the idea about the New Deal. As I told you, it is set in 1933. The movie seems to be a few years ahead, isn't it? Oh, curious. I wrote about visiting the Rumpelmeyers and drink a milkshake, but as soon as I finished the book and looked it up online, I saw it was closed in the late 90s. What a pity. Well, at least the one in Central Park. Someday in the future. We can watch the movie together in bed. Look at me making plans. Now the film, Annie. To be honest, I don't like musicals. They are so happy. I saw the movie because those things that remind me of you, they are very important to me. I've noticed you do the same, but for a much longer time. In the book, Annie was seeing a Catherine Hepburn film in the Hawks Cinema, but in the film, Annie went to the Radio City Music Hall and saw Camille with Garbo, my movie. Oh, Caris, you're so sarcastic. I would never imagine that in February. I thought you were crying because a little orphan Annie, and not because of the end of Camille. Shame on you. I hope you really like Annie, or you are using a cute movie for children as an excuse, a perfidious excuse, as much as when you said you would be Garble in cinema. Anyway, I like the persecution and the suspend bridge when Annie says she had to pee and stepped on Mrs. Hannigan's foot and ran away. And then Mrs. Hannigan's brother Rooster tries to catch her. So I picture Mrs. Hannigan differently while reading. I knew she was drunk, but not that drunk. And I like the end with the fireworks. In February, because of Valentine's Day, you posted Annie's final scene with the heart and tears. And I thought you were sad because of Annie. But certainly you were referring to the cinema scene and Camille. Well, a month after, we received the first no, and then you were really sad, my love. Well, I like to do this, read the book and see the movie. I did it with the boy in the striped pajamas, I don't know how it says. I read and then soon after I saw the movie. It was on the same day. So, Napoleon, Annie, silent movies, Laurel and Hardy. Is it true I had 2 cats with their names? I can't find any picture of it. Even the username of your Instagram's page. Leave Caris alone. In some way, these little things, they remind you of me. And then maybe when you saw them, you just laughed or cried depending on your humor and the day. This is so sad, darling. Since you were a kid, even if you didn't understand, you were expecting that we meet again. Well, I don't look like that anymore. But as much as you are searching for something beyond of an appearance and looks. And well, I'm not that bad, isn't it? I just I could not have imagined someone would surround herself with things to not forget me. I sincerely hope you enjoy to take my virginity. that you will like to fuck me. We haven't sex since the 60s, I guess. It has been 50 years. Do you miss me? If you want to try to put all of your fist inside of me on our first time, I won't stop you. If you want to put all of your fist inside of my vagina, then just do it. You will feel that nobody fucked me before. Well, I spend too much time reading books. I don't have time for sex. Oh, I'm not joking, it's true. Or I don't have time for people in general. So as I said, you will feel that nobody fucked you before. I guess we will both prefer it instead of the strap on. And if it makes you happy, it will make me happy, because I love you, darling. And as I said, I won't try to stop you unless I can't handle the pain. Oh, I want to put my fist inside of you too. But first, what I most desire is to kiss and lick many times. I feel this desperate need of taste you. You have been waiting for such a long time. I don't want to disappoint you. I'm not referring to sex, but regarding the book. You are very important to me, and I can't lose you. You are my lover for such a long time, even from when I cannot recall it. If necessary, I will die for you. I just don't want to come back for that zone from when we were Jesus and Mary Magdalena. That awful zone. The friend zone. I'm going to read now something I wrote for you in last November. It involves a coconut beer and a blue dress. I added a couple of things. Many men pay to take the virginity of a maiden. It's the fantasy of some. One of the few exceptions where having lack of experience is appreciated, but I value the experience carries. How much will you charge to teach me? What if I don't have any money? Can I pay with more sex? I want to satisfy my man in every possible way. You must tell me what you desire, and I will do. I will be your slave if you want me to be, because my man works so hard and deserves to rest in the end of the day. I owe him something. After all, he sustains me financially. Last week he bought me that blue dress I wanted so much. He arrived so tired from work. He's a plumber. Yeah, a plumber. He fixes other people's pipes. So needs a lot of lubrication. As oil, I mean. I can't cook. Since I end up burning everything, I'm so clumsy. Still, he is considerate, even when I'm making him lose his temper. He doesn't beat me, unless I want to. My man is the best. That's why I don't want him to get upset. When he comes tired of the job, I give him his favorite drink, a coconut beer. He touches my shoulder and takes me to our room. We aren't rich. Well, he's a plumber. but we have enough to go on. I kneel, taking off his shoes. He pulls off my blue dress, kisses me twice. His tongue devours mine while he possesses me the way he pleases. He has a thing. He adores to fuck me from behind while observing us in the large mirror. I love it. He knows that I always want some more, but after 1 hour, he needs to take a break. He gets soft. I touch him with my hand, and if it doesn't work, I put it in my mouth while he combs my hair with his bare hands. After a couple of minutes, it works, and he is hard again. In a moment, he tells me to take off my mouth because he is about to come. He's so considerate. But I don't take off my mouth. I swallow everything until the last drop. After I cleaned my lips in the bed sheets, and slowly I feel my head against his penis. Your penis, Caris. You wanted to be Sartre, isn't it? You wanted to be my man. I only compared that couple with us. You read it and asked me if you were him, the man. Oh well. I like to breathe and feel my head against your sex. After some minutes, he kissed me in his favorite spot. He likes to call it cherry pie. Well, my man is a plumber. He has a cheesy taste. But that doesn't keep me from mounting him as an animal would do. What I most like of him, well, he's not selfish at all. He only rests when I finally come. What with him doesn't take too much time. While I'm staring his pale blue eyes, I suck slowly again all of his grace, amused by his sex against my lips. It's so warm. I only consider done if I see him pleased. After all, he is my man. I wish to take care of him. And it's heaven. Just me and my man and nobody else, since I like my privacy. He's resting against my breasts. I barely can open my eyes. He drained me completely. We fall into a deep sleep, both exhausted. In the next morning, he woke up before the night and surprised me with a cherry pie for breakfast. I was really hungry, so I brushed my teeth and seated at the table. I was drinking orange juice and eating a huge slice of cherry pie. It was so tasty. And we talked about our life, while I kept staring at him with my dreamy eyes, reminding of the night before. And no bitch can take my man of me. Oh, I'm very jealous. Well, in the afternoon, since it's Sunday, I will probably be in my room reading a book. But my thoughts are wandering around the night before, because I'm still able to sense his smell in my skin. And in the present moment, I'm feeling empty because he's not inside of me. But he needs to rest after all the work from the week. So while I'm there reading a book, he probably will be in the living room, opening a pack of coconut beer and watch a baseball game on the telly. He likes the Yankees. Is it the Yankees? I thought it was the Red Sox. Well, we live in Boston now, but we are considering moving to New York, so we needed to gather more money. It will rely on his plumber job only. It has to be the best plumber job. The end of the story. Then I added on Twitter. I only speak this way because it seems that you like very much. If I offended you, which I doubt, find a way to say, if you don't want that I do that again, tell me. I want to make your whims as much as Hein did with Matilda. And I can't treat you as someone older than I. Even if you seem have almost of the have almost the double of my age. I feel as if you were much younger. Moreover, have you ever taken a girl's virginity before, Mrs. Van Houten? Or Mrs. Van Houten? I think V has the sound of F. My love, please, I'd like to know. I will consider the awkward silence as a denial. It will be a first time for both of us, see. And I will stop talking about it. So, going on. I added the breakfast scene, and when I wrote last year, you seemed to like. You even, used a blue dress with a blue coat in an event you had to go in New York. I guess I haven't offended you or even stopped talking about it. You know, it's liberating to have plain conscience that I have lived so much. I'm in êxodos, Caris. I'm old. I was a pharaoh. Until a couple of years ago, I thought this type of designation was so mythological as the Greek or Roman god. Greeks or Romans god. And I was a pharaoh. I'm so old, darling. If it was not to find you, I should have remained dead. So it's better that I enjoy my time with you. Even if my time with you comes down to write, or that you see me here and I scream. I won't regret the things I have said. Nothing that involves me loving you is to be shameful. Well, in fact, it's a bit funny, isn't it? When you accepted to meet in a way or another, when you said, yeah, ik wil, I understood that there isn't anyone else for me. No, I'm not crazy. I mean, anyone for I'd be willing of compromise me, of change the way I act in order to make the other person happier. You must know I'm selfish. Well, I never say that was perfect. I don't believe in human perfection. Being with you, finding you, would make me very happy, and everything else would be a smaller question. The criticism because of my choices, or even if people say I'm mad for think I was Jesus Christ, nothing would matter because I'd be with you. I read that in the end of Heine's life, he might have written erotic poems about someone named Elise. My family in that time, in order to protect my honor, burned my poems. It's so difficult to write. Why they would commit such a crime? It was a long time ago. But they won't be able to protect my honor in this life, Caris. Back then I was married with my beloved Matilda, but I guess I wanted to fuck another woman called Liz. That happens, doesn't it? Regarding this woman, I can't feel anything, perhaps indifference. Not even beautiful she was, not anymore. Beauty is constantly changing its shape through time. Something that made me horny almost 200 years ago won't make me horny now. But my poems, if my family haven't burned them, well, it could make me laugh or blush while I'm reading it. It's only memories, and in most of all the photographs, a beautiful face doesn't mean much. But knowing that your soul habitated a body carries that she was Matilda or Mercedes makes me look with different eyes to those photos or even paintings. Make me look then with tenderness, almost making me want to kiss the woman in the photo, despite I know you're not her anymore. Em português, it is said, a beleza está nos olhos de quem vê. It means beauty is on the eyes of the beholder, and you will always be beautiful to me, even your memory, because I think my love was inside of her. It was her. It was what made her act the way she did. It was the one who married Hein and the one who made that CD. Time is an illusion, and this sort of illusion won't separate us. Because again, your soul made me love a complete stranger, because I realized she wasn't one. Considering that I thought I'd never see you again, I already know how it feels to lose you. And it feels fucking bad. Caris van Houten. So your father took you to cinema to see Napoleon when you were very young. Nobody ever told me about silent movies. I found out for myself. Nobody told me about Gerbil. I found her because of Anna Christie, and I cried so much without knowing the reason until I understood why. And because of Gerbil I found you. I cannot give a name for all of these except fate. I don't believe there is a providence that intercedes for us without ourselves wanting to. As if we do not have had any choice on the matter. I believe that the so-called fate is what someone decided before was born, and achieve their objectives would mean fulfill their own fate, and so accomplish what was meant to be.